Seriously, gotta cut this hair. Happy Tuesday. Today, we will be talking about clear communication. We're on day 3 of our weekly challenge. Sunday, we slowed down so that we could be present with our mind, with our body at the same time, and on purpose think about what we would like to come out this week. On Monday, we focused on our mindset, getting all of our thoughts in the same order, like putting our ducks in a row. I think this, so I'm going to think this because this thought goes with this. This is where you would have noticed, I would like this to come out, but I'm also still planning to fail. That's where you would want to clean up the work. When you want to clean up the work, that's when you're in your mind thinking, how can I soften my belief to think better about this for me? And you do it one thought at a time. Today, on Tuesday, we talk about communication, and communication is so important. It is like the fire to our creation. Hey, Brie, is that you? Are you there? Hi. It's like the fire to our creation. It cuts the distance between what you want and you having it. When you're speaking clearly and you know that you're getting what you want, like when your expectations and your beliefs match and you're feeling sure, you're able to speak very clear. You've noticed when you want someone to do something for you and you give them very precise directions. So look at that thing. It looks like it's my hair. It looks like, doesn't it look like just like my hair? You give them very clear directions because you want them to execute it as much as like you could if you were there on purpose. We talked about like delegating and how that requires a little bit of surrender and trust. Just like when we're wanting to practice using our intuition, wanting to be led by our higher self, it asks a little bit of trust. Trust that you're going to know. Trust that you don't have to ask others. Trust that you are good to give yourself a moment and wait and hear from you. You know, giving yourself that space to learn how to listen to your inner self and create on purpose with your energy, not with a response to the outside stimuli, which is usually how we are creating, usually how we are living, until we understand how much this inner self connects to outer self. And this is where you just begin connecting the dots. So for me, on every single day, there's another part of my energetic self that I am focusing on bringing into the fullest well-being of itself. As a creative being, as an energetic being, I know that I'm always growing, always evolving. Every single Tuesday gets to be better than the Tuesday before, if I allow it, if I will it, if I'm making space for it. And every single week, every single month, every single year continuously gets to get better. Every time I do something over again, I get to be better at it. You know, even when I go through an experience and I'm upside down, like I feel like it didn't work out well for me, I've now gotten experience. Now I know if I'm ever presented with this scenario again, how I prefer to come out. And knowing and doing is part of the game, you know, and not a game like something to take trivially, but more of a game to play within yourself. It's sort of like when we're practicing yoga and we're pressing our big toes into the ground to create inner tension in our body. When you start understanding the connection between your thoughts, feelings, and what you say, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like you are participating willingly with the universe in this way to give space for what you want, because you know this is how it happens. You know this is how we manifest with ease and way more speed and on purposeness, so that it's like, wait, there is absolutely no doubt that I didn't contribute to that. I can see me all over that. Others can tell, you know, and eventually it gets to that. You know, it gets so cool, the desire to prove yourself. I remember before, I would try and take pictures. I would try and take screenshots. I would try and write notes. I would try and record what I knew was going to happen before it was going to happen, because I could sense this unfolding, you know. I was always trying to like prove it to others, but it would often slow it down. It would often mess me up, because then I would be worried about, well, what if they don't believe it? What if they don't get it? What if I, you know, miss something? This is a you and a you thing. You know, once you're stable and confident, people feel that. They know you got it. And they just want to kind of get a little, tell me more. Once, my favorite. We all know my favorite. Dude, I'll tell you one of my favorites. Okay, it's one of my favorites. Everything is my favorite and they're all equal. A lion never, ever, 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 ever has to say that she's a lion. She simply is. I often feel this immediate reminder when I'm in the face of someone trying to bully me or manipulate me, and they're telling me about their self and and I get in my brain and I'm like, if this was a lion, she would have already eaten my face off. She wouldn't be sitting here trying to tell me she could eat my face. You know what I mean? And it sort of helps me dissolve my inner anxiety. It helps me be present. And this is not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to be paying attention to your thoughts in the day while you're thinking and engaging with others. It takes time, it takes practice. It's kind of like walking and chewing gum at the same time. Or if you've ever or know about like how a drummer drums, they gotta have one foot going and then one hand doing this and one hand. It's a lot of different parts. It takes practice. But you can do it. You know what I mean? You can do it. And once you do, you won't not. You'll notice how beneficial it is to you. And usually you'll start it at a more simple place, and maybe that won't be enough to grab your attention. But if you are doing this because you want to learn it for real in life that matters, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's love or finances or health or your connection and purpose to this community, to this world, whatever and anything that you can think of can be uplifted with your energetic on-purposeness, with your energetic well-being, and that starts through thinking and feeling on purpose. And then the magic in that is what you say. What you can say all day long, I'm fine, everything's great. But if inside of your body things are poo-poo and not great, manifestations are going to be mixy and unsatisfying. And as soon as you can think in your mind, shit's good, and feel it, and then you say it out loud, it's wild how much faster things come out. And no, it's not going to be instant like this, but sometimes, it's really cool how it gets to be sometimes. And the thing is letting go of time. And that's another whole conversation, like knowing that I get to choose to be on time with me. I get to choose my relationship with time, just like I do with my relationship with my energy. And if I know I'm on the right track, if I know I'm in the right place at the right time doing the best things for me, which I always know that, if I know I'm at the right time for me, on time for me, right on time with me, and I know I can speak deliberately on purpose with me, that's a different position than feeling like there's not enough time, than feeling like someone else is giving you time pressure, feeling like a deadline has got more power than you as a whole aligned knowing being, and in the beginning it's weird to try and flex that power when it's up against things that we are relying on for our stability, like your home or your car or your job or your partner. These things feel bigger than what we could just decide in our mind. I don't have that. It feels like something you're not willing to risk. And then when you're able to understand your energy, you realize there isn't a risk. There's only opportunity. You are able to shift and massage and pivot and maneuver things, even things that have been a certain way for many, 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 many moons. You can make things feel, be, respond differently to you. And you make them do it by being different in your body and knowing that it's going to come out. You do so much more speaking what you choose, knowing what you want, and thinking in line with that than any action when you're going to start changing things in your on-purpose reality. It feels, again, we always remind, it feels very unsatisfying. This is not the world of instant gratification, but it is actual continuous satisfaction. And if you ask me, as one that really enjoys instant gratification, continuous satisfaction takes the fucking cake every time. I want to be happy and fulfilled all the time. I don't want to just wait for that little yay. I'm going to be happy and fulfilled and still get yay. So happy, fulfilled, and more. You know, like, it's a trick, it's a trap. And I'm 47. I can say that. I've experimented and I tried. Even with learning this work, I tried to do it in ways. Is my light gonna do weird things? I think it's making noises. Even when I was like first learning, I feel like my light's gonna blow up. It's making weird. It's like ticking. I don't know why it would do that. Is that? Oh my God. I think it's my sounds on the YouTube. So you guys have probably been hearing that the whole time. All right, Tuesday. I see what you did there. I'm gonna go. I have some really cool thing to do today. I'm super excited. So I'm gonna go focus on that. And I'll make sure that when I go to record that, I turned off my YouTube background noise. And then I get to see later if this was all just a wasted chat. But it was good to see your face anyway. The coolest thing about being an eternal person, eternal being, getting to do things over and over again is we can always get better. Tomorrow I'll remember. Bye-bye.